All right, well, good evening, everyone. Owen Fritzen here with you, along with Brant Warren taking over the coverage for Mark Spencer. Has done a phenomenal job for us this evening. We continue the severe weather coverage right now. The good thing is most of the tornado warnings have died off, and there is no tornado warnings active for our coverage area right now. And we are seeing, though, more of a linear threat now, starting to move into a wind event as it moves here through south central Ohio, moving through the Columbus metro area, and it's going to be pushing off here towards the mid-Ohio Valley. So we wanted to come on live. Not going to probably stay with you too long, but did want to continue to give you a little bit of coverage there as Mark Spencer wrapped up his coverage, and we're joining you here now for the latter part of the coverage. Mark did a great job of taking you through those tornado warnings that were ripping through the Dayton area, and we're continuing to see some damage that's coming in, and I'm going to bring in Brant Warren. Brant is actually down in the Chillicothe area, and what are you seeing down there right now, Brant? I know you got that line coming through your area right now.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of rain hitting the window right now, and you can hear the winds that are also hitting the window. But as you said, Owen, I mean, this is kind of moving in more of a direction of a linear wind event. As we're not seeing the circulation and the couplets like we did back when all those tornado warnings were issued about an hour and a half ago over and east of the Wilmington area. As this has progressed to the east, it's kind of weakened, and we're seeing more of those pockets of wind that we're watching. We did actually get a couple readings on the radar, a radar estimate back near the Wilmington area of upwards of 80 miles per hour along this line. So that's why you're continuing to see the severe thunderstorm warnings continuing for this line as it pushes east, because this does have a history of producing some very gusty winds. And I apologize if hopefully my internet doesn't go out, but they're really hitting us hard. Storms are really hitting me hard right now. So, but yeah, I mean, we're looking at more of a linear wind threat, but we do on these couple severe thunderstorm warnings that we have here. We also have the tornado possible tag, Owen. So we still need to be alert about the possible quick spin up of a tornado. Now, it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to see, especially just east of the Columbus area tonight, because we're dealing with some radar issues out there. And we're kind of in a radar dead zone without a couple of our terminals tonight. We've kind of been working around that, but I think everybody's done a great job handling this. Mark did a great job. I think the National Weather Service has done a fantastic job tonight, and we're just going to get these storms through the area, and after that we're going to enjoy a little bit of a cool down, but the severe weather will be over, so that's the good thing.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to look at the possibility of some severe weather on Wednesday. But let's and I know some of you just joining us, let's kind of go through what we got going on right now. We'll start with we'll start with the watches. I'm going to turn the radar off right now. You can kind of see here we have severe thunderstorm watches in effect, and we have tornado watches in effect as well. So we do have this tornado watch here that is in this lightish, I would say almost greenish, yellowish color. This is a tornado watch that goes in effect until 1 o'clock, and they're starting to drop those off as the line moves through. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these other counties are actually going to be dropped out of that watch, or I think that watch may expire a little bit early with what's going on there. So there's a tornado watch, and the watch out ahead of this purplish box, this is a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until 3 a.m. So if you're in this pinkish purplish color, this goes until 3 a.m. and then obviously the tornado watch back here in this yellowish greenish color goes until 1 o'clock this evening. Again, I think that tornado watch is going to be expired early, and I definitely think counties are going to start to drop out of it. However, we got a couple of things going on. You can see in that nice orange box, we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings that are currently ongoing right now, and we do have some weather just to our south in Kentucky that we're continuing to monitor too as it's moving up towards Adams County and possibly Brown County. So we're looking at that as well. We're keeping an eye on that as it moves up here and tracks towards the east. So a couple of quick things. Let's go ahead and turn radar back on, and I'll get to this. Let me load up the radar here just a second. You can see some small hail with this and some new severe thunderstorm warnings that are coming out ahead of this. Now, this one where this line is almost out of, this severe thunderstorm warning goes here, expires at 10:45, and we'll kind of just run down that severe thunderstorm warning for you. They got this one 10:05. That's obviously 25 minutes ago, but 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny-size hail that's in effect for Franklin, Western Fairfield, Pickaway, Southern Delaware, and Ross counties, along with western Licking counties. That goes until 10:45. Almost out of there. You can see they keep trimming that box back for that particular warning. Now, they've just issued new warnings out ahead of this. We'll take this top one just first here, and this one kind of goes here and down into here. So it covers portions of Licking County and Fairfield County. So there's a severe thunderstorm warning again for Fairfield County and Licking County out ahead of this. This one goes until 11:15 and located near line extending from Sparta to Circleville, moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are the hazard of the storm with some small hail that's possible. And then down here to the south, we just got a new warning issued out of RLX down in Charleston. They have issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Perry County, and that goes until 11:15 as well. And moving east, they got to move the storm's motion moving east at 50 miles an hour with 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts again, and penny-size hail or small hail that we're looking at. So kind of zoom out here, you can kind of see this line. Earlier, it was definitely producing some tornadoes. There is some damage that I'm not sure exactly. I didn't catch the town, but I knew there was some bricks and things that maybe came off a building, and I didn't quite catch that town, but that was back in back towards the Dayton area. So we'll continue to look at that and provide you with some damage, and maybe Brent can do some damage reports for us of things that we've seen and had here as this storm has progressed off towards the east. So taking a look here at radar, you can kind of see that it's moved into a linear threat as far as winds, and we're not seeing that strong rotation that we've seen earlier with tornadoes, which is a very good sign. It is starting to weaken finally. There's enough out ahead of this, I would say, instability that it tapped into is starting to weaken and are starting to lose some of that energy that we have. So the good thing is we haven't really seen or heard of too many damage reports as far as anything totally on the higher end of damage reports or anything of that nature. Again, we had that building that was damaged, but the good thing is it continues to be, it was seen to be a gusty night tonight. And I know there's several power outages, and Brant, you might be able to look at that as well and see some of the power outages through the area. I know we've had several power outages across Ohio tonight. So let's take a zoom in here. Let's take a rock and roll look here going into, and the terminal Dopplers are down tonight, Brant, too. So that was an interesting. I'm not sure if Columbus came back up or not, but you kind of see this line that's extending down here just to the east of Columbus, and from Croton all the way down here to about Lancaster, just to the west of Baltimore, and riding along 33. That's kind of the heaviest storm that we're seeing right now on radar for that particular warning. Again, this is becoming more of a linear threat. Let's take a look at base velocity. So here we go. Looking at the winds now, and I know that's probably blinding to some of you, but you could see some of that strong winds out ahead of this as this line moves through. You can very clearly see that line. So this is becoming severe gusty winds, I should say, up to 60 miles an hour. They even backed that off. We were seeing 70-mile-an-hour winds. They even backed that off to about 60 miles an hour now. However, what you're seeing there is we could continue to see some of these winds get a little bit cranky, kind of put the wind speeds here. We're up to 50 and potentially a little bit higher in some of the other areas here as we continue to push it off towards the east. Again, what we're looking at here, you can see the greens and the reds. We have greens going towards the radar and reds going away from the radar site, and this is back at Wilmington, but it's more of a linear threat now, and we're hovering about 50 miles an hour, and again, some of these pockets of air could be a little bit higher right now, but it's some gusty winds up to 60 miles an hour is what we're seeing right now. That leading edge just coming through Chillicothe there, and it's moving its way right along State Route 50 and moving its way over here towards MacArthur down in Hocking and Vinton County as it continues to push off to the east about 50 miles an hour. So the good thing when looking at this is we are continuing to see it in a weakening trend, which is awesome. We'll go back to reflectivity and kind of see what's going on. A lot of lightning with this, a lot of pretty lightning in northern Ohio where I'm at that happened earlier, but not much in the way of actual lightning hitting the ground, but it was cloud-to-cloud lightning. which was very pretty. And I think we're getting a lot of strikes in that area as well. I knew earlier the strike count was around 300 on the radar frame. So it is in an overall weakening trend as well. But as this pushes off here towards the east and just slightly to the north, again, we're in that weakening trend. We do have some little bit of areas that have a little bit of an inflow notch. We did have some tornado warnings. Those are now expired. So again, all the tornado warnings for the area have expired. We only have, for our coverage area, which is in Ohio, we only have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings that are currently ongoing at the moment. So, Bran, I know I'm not sure if you had a chance to look any. Have you seen any damage reports or power reports or anything, power outages or anything from your side?
Yeah, I'll start with the power outage numbers. Overall, we're not doing Owen. Again, the radar picking up 80 miles per hour.
Bran,
that'll do that.
That'll do that. You reset on it, Bran. I made a technical boo-boo, and I forgot to hit your mic on. I apologize. And people are lighting up the comments. I completely apologize. When you were coughing, I hit mute. And can you kind of start over?
I understand.
Outages.
No, I'm battling the back end of this flu here, so I'm trying to get through this the best I can.
Yeah.
So no, we'll go.
I do have the power outage
no, you're
map
good.
up on the screen as well for everybody to see.
Yeah, so we're not doing too terrible on the power outage side of things. We have less than 1% in Butler County. We're looking at a little over 2% in Warren County, but obviously the hardest hit county there. I don't know which. Do you have power outage? U.S.
Fayette.
Okay, yeah, Fayette is our county that's hit the hardest. There you can see in the yellow about 17.25% of the county without power. And Owen, that would make sense because moving through that area just about 30 minutes ago, the radar was picking up a few pockets of 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts there, and that type of those type of winds will definitely knock some power out for some folks. Now on the damage side, we haven't really seen too much in the way, but there is one report I'd like to go over. This is back in Monroe, Ohio. That's in Butler County. We did get a report of several poles were ripped apart, a fence was down, and there's yard furniture everywhere. And that's all that the report goes on to say. And that time was estimated on radar. Oh, and we did see a couplet, which is, our indication where the winds are moving on the radar that sometimes suggests that most of the time suggests that there's a tornado there when we see that type of couplet. Not saying this was a tornado, but even with 80-mile-per-hour winds, you can definitely see some of that type of damage. So we'll let the National Weather Service look over all these reports, and we'll see what they say over the next couple of days. But not seeing anything else in the way of some damage. We have some scattered wind reports. We have a 54-mile-per-hour gust in Grove City. Same thing in Wilmington, 56 miles per hour, just to the east of Wilmington. 60 miles an hour, but we did have one just southeast of Dayton, which was very interesting, and I think this confirms what the radar was saying as well. A 74-mile-per-hour wind gust was recorded in southeastern Montgomery County about an hour and a half ago when this line moved through. So this line definitely has a history of producing some very gusty winds, possibly a couple tornadoes. There's some things we got to work out. National Weather Service got to get out and do their job and figure out if those were actually tornadoes, or sometimes it's very hard to tell the difference between a tornado and some very strong straight line wind damage. Other times it's very easy. So we'll just have to see what they say. getting a couple photos in here. We've seen a couple photos from the Dayton area, maybe some funnel clouds. Same thing in the Grove City area. Nothing in the way of damage in those areas outside of the strong wind gust, Owen. So thankfully tonight, with all the tornado warnings that we have had, we haven't had the damage reports to go along with that, which is a good sign.
Yeah, I know. I think we've been really lucky in most regards here, kind of looking through some social media channels and things, not seeing a lot in the way of damage reports. Trees down a couple spots, and we had some very gusty winds. Now that's quite a little bit of a different story up in Michigan, which there was some pretty decent damage up there from some of the storms that ripped through there earlier. And in the northern portion of Ohio, northwest Ohio, they had that severe thunderstorm watch earlier. They said they were going tornado watch, then they pulled it back to severe thunderstorm watch. But then they said in the severe thunderstorm watch, a couple tornadoes were possible. So I'm not sure why they even I don't really get that, but that's just my opinion. But they continued to go with that severe thunderstorm watch, which was in an overall weakening trend, I think, because there was no tornado warning. So probably a good call there, but kind of a little bit confusing for most people in northwest Ohio. So it's kind of a bust in northwest Ohio. Although today we didn't have as much sunshine as we initially thought, and we told everybody down here in southern Ohio, don't let your guard down, which we were expecting to see exactly what had happened with this long-range kind of tornado event. It's happened over several hours, but good thing is we haven't seen anything as far as damage reports that continue to come in here. And again, we're not seeing really any new warnings that popped up on your screen. Again, that one warning pretty much is over. It expires here in about 3 minutes. The one that goes for eastern Franklin, western Fairfield, and eastern Pickaway, along with western Licking and eastern Ross counties. For all intents and purposes, that is over. Most of that storm is pretty much out of that warning box, except here for the southern flank down towards Chillicothe. So this one is pretty much over. It expires here in 3 minutes, and I doubt they're going to reissue anything out ahead of this. Sorry, zoom in here quick. And continuing to look at some strong gusty winds, but overall it's in that weakening trend for tonight. And what we're going to start to see is, as this moves off towards the east, it's going to continue to get weaker and weaker, which is a good sign. But over the next couple of hours, you can't rule out a couple of severe thunderstorms that could get a little bit cranky and gusts over 60 miles an hour. So some of you asking about the triangles, that is small hail. That's on the screen. That gives us an indication of hail that's potentially falling, but this is less than half an inch or less than half an inch hail. So very, very small hail is the probability there. So yeah, you're probably seeing across the area, especially if you're in this warning, probably seeing a pretty good lightning show tonight and some gusty winds. And kind of on the backside of this, you're going to continue to see some heavy rainfall overnight tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some localized flooding. If not, we could see some small streams and creeks rise a little bit because of this. I know there's been a lot of rain that has been dumped out ahead of this. And we continue to keep an eye on Wednesday. I know there continues to be some chatter for Wednesday. And again, we're continuing to watch that for you as well. And we continue to watch, excuse me, here, let me go click on, I'm trying to see if I can pop that up. We're continuing to watch Wednesday. Kind of on the bubble right now, but we could see some storms in the overnight, but we're continuing to keep an eye on that one as well. So as we continue to look at here, kind of look at this severe thunderstorm warnings, we kind of roll through this once again and reset for everybody. Right now, I'm going to flip off the radar, and I'll show you with the watches. So we do have a tornado watch for this, I would say, I don't know. I don't even know what color that is. I'm going to say that it's like a orangish greenish color. This tornado watch here goes until 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to say that it's probably going to be expired early as it moves on here. And we do have a severe thunderstorm, or excuse me, new severe thunderstorm warning just came in. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. But we do have a tornado watch, or excuse me, a severe thunderstorm watch. I'll get it straight until 3 a.m. for these counties here that are in this purplish color. Now, Brant, we are continuing to see reports come in, and you might have another report here for us.
Yeah, actually, this one just popped on. They're kind of hard to see on the radar software that we use. So as they're popping up here, I'm trying to get to them. But in northwestern Fayette County, there's a report of a barn destroyed. Now, again, that's a very vague report. We don't know how large the barn was. if it was small, how structurally sound it was. But that report is also coming into us, and basically just some scattered reports across the southern Miami Valley, Owen, of some trees over roads. So a large tree uprooted here in Clinton County on 73 east of Harveysburg. So just some scattered reports of a few pockets of some more than minor damage, but most of these reports have been relatively minor today. And again, I think we've been overall pretty lucky considering what we could have been dealing with. Much more severe than this, but so far we haven't seen any reports of the tornadoes, which is a good thing with all the warnings we had. Typically we'd see at least 1 or 2 reports of tornadoes. So far tonight, we haven't seen really anything in the way of that. I know there was a couple reports back in south of Dayton that might suggest a tornado. But right now, Owen, I think we're dealing with a straight line wind threat as this line of storms continues to move off to the east, as you see the more severe thunderstorm warnings continuing to be issued with the tornado possible tag. So we definitely have to still keep our guard up in eastern Ohio.
Yeah, and Bran, as I did populate, we don't keep these on the screen, but we do have the local storm reports that have popped up. So things that have been reported, I just popped those up on the screen, and you can see most of these is some trees down and some wind gusts. Like here's a thunderstorm gust there that they were saying that was at the ASA station out of the Wright-Patterson Airport. But most of this is just strong winds, a couple wind gusts there. They're saying a thunderstorm wind gusts of 74 that was measured. And up here they did say this one is near Dayton. They're saying shingles down from one home, roof destroyed on another home on Vandergrift Drive. So that's the latest one that's come in there from Dayton. And we're continuing to see a couple of those. But overall, I think it's a good sign that we haven't seen a lot of damage reports come out. Now, tomorrow when the sun comes up, we might see some more trees and some other damage that may be reported. Here's where that barn was destroyed that Brant was talking about, that they're saying from a train spotter. They're just in the Jeffersonville area there in Fayette County. This is right there just north of State Route 35. And we do have some other thunderstorm gusts about 50 miles an hour from the AWA station there, just north of Washington Courthouse. So I'm going to turn those back off. We don't like to keep those on because it clutters up the screen. And I also turned off the severe thunderstorm and tornado watches for now. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Several.
Sorry, I have to laugh. Somebody said their cat blew away. I just looked over in the chat. I should look at that, but I had to. That says their cat blew away. But yeah, we do have several new severe thunderstorm warnings that has just popped in the screen here, and let's go ahead and rattle these off for you. I know Hocking County just got one too. It's not quite up on my screen just yet. But let's start off here with the most southern one. There comes Hocking County. Let's start off from south, just outside of Chillicothe here. We're going to come down here to Vinton County. So portions of Vinton County, I should say. Let's start off with this one. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 11:30, and this is for northwestern Meigs County, northwestern Gallia County, northern Jackson County, Vinton County, and southwestern Athens County. Again, it goes till 11:30. And again, the reports on this one they're saying is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny-size hail. They are, again, kind of putting some tags in there about tornadoes and the potential of tornadoes. So we're still going to have to watch that one as well. We do have a new severe thunderstorm watch. We'll get to that one. Thank you, Brant, for letting me know on that one. We'll get to that here in just 1 second. We're going to continue up with this new severe thunderstorm warning for Hocking County. This one for Hocking County goes until 11:30. This is for southwestern Fairfield, and Hocking County, again, until 11:30. For that one as well. Let's continue up here. Out ahead of this, we got 2 new warnings that we haven't talked about here. Actually, 1 warning. I'm sorry. It looks like 2. Proportions of Coshocton County and Muskingum County that goes until 11:30. Out ahead of this line as well. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts possible, and they do again continue to tag this tornado possible. So we'll continue to watch that as well. Brant, you said we have a new watch out?
Yes, we do. It encompasses most of east central Ohio and also a few counties. in southeast Ohio. So that
Can
goes.
you have the image on that? Can you send that over to me?
Yes, I was getting ready to send it over to you. I'm just trying to figure out the time as well because this just came out.
Yeah.
See if I can figure out the time here.
And if you got any other images, just feel free to drop them in the chat. I can share them with everybody here on our screen. You could kind of see here that new watch, and it gets murky because the new watch goes until 3 a.m., I believe, as well.
Yes. Yep.
And so you can't really differentiate the two watches. So you can kind of see the rest here. And I'm going to just turn off radar real quick so everybody can see the watch boxes that we have going on. So basically, if you're in this purplish color, you're under a severe thunderstorm watch until 3 in the morning. Max wind gusts of 70 miles an hour that we're looking at. The tornado watch goes until 1 o'clock, but for all intents and purposes, that's pretty much over. I assume they're going to drop that watch early here, shortly after that line just rolls through into the new warning, or excuse me, into the new watch box for the severe thunderstorm watch. Again, it goes until 3 o'clock. So let's take a look here. Let's drive back to radar. I'm going to flip back on radar. I'm going to turn off the watches for us, and let's take a look at what's going on here right now. And we're kind of getting into that radar neutral zone. I'm kind of going to have to make a decision here of when to flip over to Charleston. Right now, we're getting the best look, in my opinion, out of Wilmington. So let's kind of look out ahead of this. I'm going to flip over to base velocity, kind of see some of those pockets of instability that goes on there. Pockets of instability, pockets of wind there out ahead of this. You can kind of see some of these are getting cranky a little bit over 60 miles an hour. And a lot of this is associated with that gust front arrival that we're seeing here on radar. So and it gets a little bit messy as we get this far out. I'm going to flip over and take the motion of the storm out. This is what's called storm relative velocity. So we subtract the motion of the storm. We kind of see a little bit clearer picture here. Some of these brighter greens that we're looking at that are getting and approaching about 60 miles an hour. So if you're downstream of this, again, just make sure you're staying indoors and away from windows, not under a tornado warning. We have no tornado warnings for the coverage area in Ohio right now, but continue to be inside. Don't be outside. It's not a good day to be outside if you're out ahead of this. So you can't see. It's night. I shouldn't say day. And make sure that you're taking the proper precautions and protecting yourself. That's important as well. So kind of looking here, we do have, let me see if I can pop this up here. We do have this. So hopefully I didn't lose you, Brant. But
I'm still here.
Good. So we do have this new watch box, this new watch that came in. Kind of put this up on the screen here for you as well. Let me grab this and kind of drag it around here to make it look a little bit nicer for you on the screen. This is kind of what we got going on right now. You kind of see the differentiation. We have this tornado watch again that goes until 1 o'clock, and then anywhere that you see in the pink, that is a severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 3 in the morning. So that's what we got going on right now as far as the active alerts go on your screen right now. So we'll go back to radar here. Let me flip back over to reflectivity. So let's just look back at our regular reflectivity. Seen some heavier winds and some wind gusts as well. Open back up my chat box here for everybody so I can make sure I can see what's going on. There we go. Sorry about that. What we got going on here, you can kind of see some heavier rain and probably some good lightning with this out ahead of this. So if you're in New Lexington, Logan, MacArthur, heads up to you. If you're anywhere in the warning box, again, you got this severe thunderstorm warning that goes until about 11:15 for most areas here. Coshocton, heads up to you. You're going to get downpoured on here in just a little bit. Most of this is dying out, which is a good trend. But we're continuing to see severe thunderstorm warnings be published just out ahead of this because they're doing it more as a precautionary measure because we've had some tornadoes warnings earlier, and this kind of had this long track of it as well. So we're continuing to watch that and look forward to being with you here for a few more minutes at least. And but overall, we're in a weakening trend with just a little bit of front line or gust front arrivals or straight line damaging winds out ahead of this. So we'll continue to look at that. And Bran, I know that flooding could be a potential issue tonight as well. Heavy rain, especially here in northern Ohio. We got pounced on, and it's still raining here right now.
Yeah, luckily we haven't seen too many reports of flooding. I don't recall if I've
No, there's
seen
been no
any.
flooding yet,
Yeah,
but localized
right,
flooding, yes.
right. And I mean, you could just look. You could just tell by the radar that once this initial line comes through, we even have some steady or more moderate rains building into just west of the Miami Valley there, Owen, in Indiana, getting ready to move into these areas that have already seen a lot of rain today. And also some heavier rain down there just south of Cincinnati, going to be pushing into our river counties here within the next couple of 30 minutes to an hour or so. So definitely a lot of rain. You know, we the famous line that we always say, "Turn around, don't drown." I know we really beat it to death, but that's it's a very catchy slogan. A lot of people remember it, and it means what it means. It means if you see water that covering a roadway that you don't know how deep it is, it only takes a little bit to sweep your car away or to sweep you off your feet. So we don't want you driving through that. So if you see pockets of water on the road or a water covered roadway, it's best just to turn around to avoid drowning and try to find an alternate route there, Owen. Fortunately, flooding is a very serious, a life-threatening. So it can be a very serious, life-threatening situation. Too many unknown factors.
Yeah, I know, and I continue to say that because a lot of times the National Weather Service offices, when they're in operational mode, that's not something they continually look for, but they'll continue to go back and look at the streams and creeks, and we'll probably see some localized flooding, potentially in the overnight hours. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but definitely some ponding of roadways, water on the roadways. That I've seen, especially driving it in here in northern Ohio. I can only imagine what's going on here in southern Ohio as you continue to see this line move through. I did put the map into motion for you so you can kind of see the movement of what's going on. You can see this is taking basically an east-northeast type turn as it continues to kind of be outflow dominant, as we talked about earlier. I know Mark was talking a little bit about that, being outflow dominant as pretty much it reached Chillicothe. And Brant, another new watch that's going on.
Yeah, actually, this one is brand new. It's another severe thunderstorm watch. It basically encompasses the rest of our counties in southern and southeast Ohio that weren't under the previous watch. This one is going to go for. Let me see if I can get the time up here. This one is actually
6 a.m. It looks like.
Yeah, 6 a.m. So this one is definitely longer for than the one that was just previously issued, but that's likely because they're watching that line that is still in central Kentucky that has yet to move into that area. So another severe thunderstorm watch for just a handful of our counties in southeast Ohio, Owen, until 6 a.m. Main concern: 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. A couple tornadoes are possible. So continuing to see the downtrend for more tornadic concern, where we saw those tornado watches and warnings earlier, and more of this straight line wind threat with these two kind of broken lines that we're seeing here, Owen, over the next couple of hours.
Yes, we're continuing to see, and I'm putting this on your screen. I'm leaving it into motion. I'm sorry it's flashing on you, but that kind of shows you.
Well, I have to apologize. I have to correct myself. It actually does not include any of our counties in southern Ohio. I thought by the box that it did.
It does.
The box goes.
It does.
It does. Okay. Sorry, they're not populating for me on my end. So
yes, it does.
My
it
apologies.
Does. It includes
Little
technology
miscommunication.
No, you're good. It includes Lawrence, Gallia, and Jackson County. So we're kind of seeing that fill in from that other watch. So that new one that was issued, it does include 3 counties in our coverage area, and that's why I'm leaving the radar on loop so you can kind of see when it was issued. That was just issued again. It goes until 6 in the morning, and for our coverage area, that includes Jackson, Gallia, and Lawrence County. A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 6 a.m. So I'm going to stop the radar motion here, and I'm going to take off some of this watch information so you can kind of see and back out the radar what's going on. So Brant was talking about, we have this main line of storms that we've been dealing with in Ohio, but we're keeping our eye on this storm back here towards Cincinnati, just south of Cincinnati in northern Kentucky. This is a line that's packing a little bit of a punch. I know it had a couple of tornado warnings on it earlier, and we're continuing to watch this as this pushes off towards Ohio. So continually looking at at basically Brown and Adams counties. This starts to approach Ohio here for what it's going to hit first. There is no severe thunderstorm warning on this for Ohio just yet, but as it pushes off towards the east, definitely would probably impact Adams County and portions of Scioto County as it moves off here towards the east. So we're watching that. That definitely is what we're thinking. That's definitely why that new severe thunderstorm watch box is populated, and it fills in those 3 counties here until 6 a.m. So we got a few watches going on, and it fills in the rest of the watch counties here. And the good thing is, again, I think, Brant, that the tornado watch is going to go probably early. I expect them to probably drop that earlier. They got it till 1 in the morning, but I don't see it happening.
And the storms are practically already through that area right now. We do have some some counties. Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough flu season, that's for sure. So some storms continuing to work through the Adams, Brown, and Scioto County areas, and then the rest of those storms are currently working their way out of the tornado watch box into that severe thunderstorm watch box. But again, I don't foresee this going for much longer, Owen. It's for another 2 hours, and the storms are essentially already out of the area. So we'll likely quickly see some counties dropped off here, and this watch eventually canceled here pretty soon, and then we'll just be left with these two severe thunderstorm warnings. And this secondary line that, might I add, is south of Cincinnati, and might I add, it looks pretty mean on radar, Owen.
Yeah, we're continuing to watch that one pretty closely. I'm not so sure that we're not going to get a severe thunderstorm warning out of that one here very shortly. Let's kind of flip through some of the warnings. We do have a new warning that came in here just a moment ago, kind of filling out ahead of this one, just outside of Athens. So it's covering portions of Morgan County, Athens County, and Perry County. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to do a complete reset on this because we got lots of warnings on the screen, and I believe we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. Let's start off here down here with this one. This one goes until 11:30, this southern one for portions of Jackson and Vinton County. Also southwestern Athens, northwestern Gallia, northwestern Meigs, and northern Jackson until 11:30. And then we do have this other one that was issued. I'm going to go over here to the right, and this one has been issued for Perry County, western Morgan County, northern Vinton County, western Morgan County, and northwestern Athens County until 11:45. They issued one out ahead of this one. The other one here, just to the back side of this, basically it's almost a replacement one, goes until 11:30, and this one was for southeastern Fairfield and Hocking County in central Ohio. As we continue to trace up here, let's go ahead and look at this one here towards the left, and this one goes until... let's take a look here. I'm trying to look at what's on my screen. I'm reading some other things. 11:15. For eastern Fairfield and eastern Licking counties. And then downstream of that one, a bigger one that goes again until 11:30 as well for portions of pretty much Coshocton County and Muskegon County entirely until 11:30. So what's going on with those is what we're seeing, and we're continuing to see reports of some strong winds that are with this. So I would say most generally the tornado threat is diminishing and has diminished greatly over the past hour. I continue to see it on a weakening trend, but we're going to continue to see some straight-line damaging winds, and we have some of these pockets of damaging winds that could do quite a bit of damage that you have to keep your guard out for, because sometimes the winds are even stronger than tornadic winds, and it could do damage even worse than a tornado. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So if you're out ahead of this, the biggest thing tonight, not to scare anybody, but make sure you have a way to receive warnings, especially if you're going to bed and you're not in the all clear, if you will. Pretty much Columbus, you're done for the night. Dayton, I would say you're pretty much done for the night. But we're looking here pretty much, let's see, kind of the all clear line, kind of seeing here. Yeah, I would say I-71 and west right now. I would say you're in the all clear, kind of leaving in some room for error there down towards the new line that's coming out of northern Kentucky. So if you're pretty much west of 71, you're in the clear, and we do just got to be careful here down towards our friends down at Adams County, Scioto County, Brown County, Pike, Highland, even Ross. We have to be careful with some of you because of this line that's traipsing here just to the north, because if it takes a little bit of a turn, it is going to impact you again with some strong damaging winds as we head into the overnight hours. So again, we're seeing some of the triangles on your screen. That is indicating a small hail that's potentially with this. It may or may not even be reaching the ground, but you might be seeing some pea-sized hail as well. So strong damaging winds tends to be the trend here for tonight that we're seeing. So you just need to make sure again that you are making sure you have a way to receive warnings, especially as we go into the overnight hours. Make sure that you have multiple ways, I should say. Weather radio is great. Obviously, if you don't have one right now, you can purchase one for the next storm, but make sure you download our Ohio News and Weather app. That is available free in the App Store, Google Play, and the Apple App Store. That does have a way to warn you, and you can go down to basically micro alerts with that one as well. I mean, you can get down to different areas, and it's very granular on what you can do and what you want to be warned for and what you don't want to be warned for as well. So that's a great thing with that as well. So continue to keep an eye on that. There's the app. Don't forget you can download that again from the App Store. Download that today from the App Store. You can follow the radar right along with us as well. So let's go back here to live weather radar and continue to look here at this line that's pushing off towards the east. And we're continuing to see the warnings continue to pop on your screen as well here at the bottom of your screen. That's running there as well. So if there's any question on that, you can do that and also check it out on the app as well. So for all intents and purposes, the rain continues to be heavy here. I'm going to make a decision to flip over. I'm going to try Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh or Charleston. It's kind of a mishmash on which radar site I want to go with. If I flip to Pittsburgh, I'm not sure it gives us the best view of that southern flank. So let's see what we got out of Charleston. Kind of a radar dead zone that we're getting into. You can kind of see as it weakens up here on that northern line. So we got to be very cognizant of that. And I honestly think that Wilmington still gives me the best shot. So I'm going to flip back over to Wilmington based on the three images that I'm seeing right now as we continue to push off here towards the east. I continue to think we're in that downward trend. Now, we did see that new severe thunderstorm watch box come out for the southern flank. That does have some instability out ahead of it that could be impacted. Could see some of that. But again, most of the atmosphere for this main line that we've been dealing with has been worked over pretty good. So not sure we're going to see a lot of instability out there as we head into the overnight hours for new development. I think you're going to see a lot of rain. But pretty much I-71 and west, you are in the all clear for severe weather tonight. If you're off to the right of this and you're out ahead of this in the Mid-Ohio Valley, I know a lot of you watch from the Mid-Ohio Valley area. If you're in the Mid-Ohio Valley, make sure again that you are having a way to receive warnings overnight tonight. I don't think it's not anything that you need to stay awake for, but I do think you need to have a way to receive warnings to wake you up just in case a severe thunderstorm warning is issued. They're still looking and still tagging some of this as tornado possible. And I think that's more of a safety precaution right now as it heads off towards the east northeast as it kind of rides that 70 corridor off towards the east. So if you're out in West Virginia, I think again, I know a lot of you watch from West Virginia. I think you can go to bed, but just make sure you have a way to receive warnings as we head into the overnight hours. All right, so with that being said, I'm not going to keep it live too much longer for you. I just wanted to come on, and Brant wanted to come on. We wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on. Again, we're in a little bit of a weakening trend. We do have severe thunderstorm watches that are out, and we'll continue to watch this and track this for you. If there is a tornado warning that were to be issued or any type of severe storm that is in that life-threatening criteria, we definitely will come back live and keep you updated. So make sure you follow along. You follow us on social media, YouTube, also on our app as well. So continue to follow along with us, and we will. What we're going to probably do is I'm just going to leave the radar loop up, and we're going to cease audio commentary. But I'll leave the radar up for you so you can see that over the next. We'll kind of get that into motion for you as we head into the next few hours here. I'll just leave that radar loop up, and we'll come back live as we need to, and I'll put the banner up that there's no audio going on the radar. So, Brant, do you have anything final before we kind of wrap up the audio commentary?
No, I think you pretty much touched all the bases there with what we need to do for the rest of the night and for all the area. Just remember, turn around, don't drown. I mean, we got a lot of rain falling across the state tonight, and some ponding and maybe some even flash flooding that could occur when this rain is all said and done. So just keep it tuned to all your sources. Keep it tuned here to Ohio News of Weather and the Bell Park Weather Network, and hope we'll get you through it.
Absolutely. So for Brant Warren, I'm Owen Fritz. Have a great evening, everyone. And again, we'll come back live as we need to. I'll tell you, if there is something that warrants, we will go ahead and start a new stream. That way you're notified of a new stream. But right now we're going to leave it with radar. We're going to leave the radar running for you to watch here. We'll put it into motion, and we'll kind of zoom out and give you this Southern Ohio regional view here for you as we head here into the next couple hours. So have a great evening, everyone. We'll continue to come back live as we need to. And remember, turn around, don't drown. That's one of our favorite slogans that we like to end with. So have a good evening, everyone.